Do you want to turn LinkedIn into your most powerful business development tool? Whether you're a business owner or a sales professional, I'm going to share ideas and a step-by-step plan that you can use to elevate your LinkedIn game and drive real results. Did you know that 79% of B2B marketers see LinkedIn as an effective lead generation tool? This video, I'm going to share 2 things you need to do to prepare your LinkedIn profile, and then 3 things you need to do on an ongoing basis. And hopefully, in the end, you'll be using your LinkedIn profile as one of your most powerful lead generation tools. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I've spent the last 8 years as a remote marketing consultant. I also have a degree and a postgraduate degree in marketing, and I was part of a group at the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I'm here to help you optimize your marketing so you can save time and increase your return on investment. I've been working on improving LinkedIn as a lead generation tool for one of my clients. And firstly, there are 2 things that we need to prepare. The first one is to sort out your profile. So here you need to get verified. This is a new feature that LinkedIn have added, and you need to provide some sort of identity document like a passport. The idea is that it's proving that you are who you say you are. And LinkedIn say that verified profiles get more connections and more replies to their messages. The next part is really obvious. You need to update your profile and make sure that everything on there is up to date and you're coming across in the best light. One of the things you can do here is add specific things to things like projects you've worked on, case studies, or just anything that you want to highlight on your profile. The idea is that you need to make the best first impression on your connections. And the other part to improve is your headline. When you're connecting with someone and messaging them, the headline, apart from your name and your picture, the headline is the next thing they see. They're going to see that when you're sending them a message and when you're connecting with them. So make it really clear who you are and what your goal is. And the other part when it comes to this profile cleanup is to give some recommendations. Let's call it good karma. You give out some recommendations to people that you know or people that you've worked with. And in return, you'll find that you often get some recommendations back. And that really boosts your profile to see that people recommend working with you, or they like you, just think you're a nice person in general, and you are who you say you are. Okay, the second thing to do to prepare is to know who you're looking for. So since this is a business development or a sales approach, you need to be really, really clear on the kind of business you're looking for, the industry, what their job title is, their seniority, everything to do with the personas or the target audience, whatever it is that you call it. Make sure you're really, really clear. With tools like LinkedIn Sales Nav, which is the premium tool that you need to pay for, you can go super detailed on exactly who you're looking for. It's a really great tool if you're doing any kind of prospecting, because you can add all the filters to find exactly who you're looking for. Even things like revenue, company size, there's a lot of information on there. And knowing who you're targeting and who the best target is for your business also means that you'll be able to update your profile with the right information. So the information that target will want to see. If it's a certain industry, you add case studies for the industry, or if it's a certain size business, you add the right content. So just be really, really clear on who it is you're targeting. Don't target everyone, of course, we know that. Just really know who you're after and make sure you're updating everything the right way. So I'll give you an example. If you know you're targeting businesses with 50 to 100 employees, maybe it's like a HR software or some kind of HR tool, you can put that in your headline, helping businesses with 50 to 100 employees with HR. That was a bad example, but you see what I mean. When you're really specific, you make everything tailored. So when you're connecting with someone, when they're looking at your profile, they know that you want to sort that you have something for them. I know that sounds super obvious, but I have to put it in there as part of the whole process. Okay, so there are 3 things that I think should be done on an ongoing basis. Now, when it comes to these 3 things, you don't always need to do all of these yourselves. There are ways to either have someone else do it or perhaps have a tool do it. There are ways that you can automate this so you're not doing everything yourself. Because really, to do this well, you need to be on LinkedIn, interacting with people, connecting with them, messaging them. There's a lot to do it really, really well. So listen to what I have to say, please. So I'm going to tell you some ways that you can automate it, or perhaps you can have someone else do these bits for you. So the first part is connecting and messaging prospects on LinkedIn. This is obvious as a sales tool. And some people on LinkedIn actually don't like it when you're selling to them. But honestly, my opinion is if you're in business, you're on a business networking site, people are going to sell to you. It's going to happen. There are going to be people that don't like it, sure. There are some people, I would say it's a small amount of people that don't like it. The majority of people know it's going to happen. If they don't like it, they tolerate it. But actually, you know that if you have something good and it's the right prospect, you're going to be helping them, you're solving a problem, you're giving them a solution. So don't worry, some people don't like it. And honestly, it's like saying salespeople should never cold call. Of course, if you've got a certain target, a certain company, and you don't have a way in, then you have to do a cold call. That's the way it has to go. Sometimes it's the only way. So you need to connect with people that you want to talk to, send them a personalized message, definitely include their name as an absolute minimum, which again, sounds obvious, but a lot of people just don't send a message, or they just send a blank message, send the same thing to everyone. Really, you're not going to get anywhere if you're doing that. It has to be personalized. Minimum their name, minimum. You may know them through someone else, so you might have something to say there, but if you don't, look at something that might have in common, like a group, or if you somehow work together at some place, or you don't have anything in common, then look at something on their profile you could talk about, like something they've posted or something to do with the company, something where they've worked. Try to find something that makes it personalized so it doesn't look like you've just copied and pasted the same message to 100 people. Once they've connected, you can start to chat to them about how you can solve their problem. Obviously, we know that going straight in with a sales pitch is not a good idea, but at some point you do need to talk about their problem, what the solution is. I don't need to tell you how to do sales because I'm sure you know that already. But although it's tempting to try to speed it up by sending the same messages to everyone, remember that there is another person on the other side. And by personalizing it and trying to get to know them as much as you can, you'll have a much better result. And then at some point, you'll want to try to take it off LinkedIn, have a phone call, have a meeting. You want to try to get it to that point. I didn't tell you about this, okay? But there are automation tools that you can use to message people. Now, officially, LinkedIn says you can't use these tools. LinkedIn doesn't like them. However, I know people that have used them and haven't had a problem. Now, what you should do if you're using one of these tools is follow the guidance that they give you. A good one will put a limit on how many people you can connect with, how many messages you can send, how often you can basically use the automation, because they know what LinkedIn's limits are, let's say. And a good one will also tell you that you need to use LinkedIn Sales Nav, because when you're paying LinkedIn, you have access to do more. So it seems like paying for LinkedIn Sales Nav as well as an automation tool is the way that it needs to be done. Again, I didn't tell you about these tools, okay? They're not allowed on LinkedIn. So step 2 in the ongoing plan is to interact with other people. Connecting and messaging is usually not quite enough. You should also interact with your prospects. So this means liking posts, commenting, and just looking at what they're doing. And like I was saying before, you can talk about some of their updates in messages. You'll also learn more about your prospects, and that will give you more to talk about when you eventually get a call or a meeting with them. This includes looking at their profile, but also looking at their company profile as well, because the employee is often posting something different to what the company is posting. The other thing you can look for here is looking for updates that might be relevant. So for example, when someone starts a new job, or when a business is doing something like expanding or just general changes to the business, that's often an opportunity to get in there. And I'm sure you knew that already if you work in sales. But what you can do on LinkedIn is you can set up alerts, or you can set up searches. that when you're looking for prospects, you can also see people who've changed their jobs or people who've posted recently. So you can see new information about contacts, and you can see information about their company as well. It's also good to look at what the competitors are doing, because that might give you an insight into anything that's happening in the industry. The third part, so the step-by-step, is to post content. This is great because it's adding more of a human element to your LinkedIn profile. People love to see behind the scenes of a business and see staff news. Personal posts do get a lot of engagement on LinkedIn, but you don't have to share anything personally if you don't want to. Some other things you can talk about are interesting or insightful things that are happening in the company. So maybe you go to a conference and you learn something new in a talk. That's something really interesting to post there. Any industry updates, so things you see in the news, highlighting those to your followers is interesting for them if they're also in the same industry. Of course, if you're employed, you might need to clarify what you can and can't post, but hopefully you'll find that most legal or marketing teams are happy for you to post most things, as long as you're not giving away any company secrets. There are so many topics you can cover when it comes to LinkedIn posts. And if you want a video just on that, comment below and I will do that. So that's my way to prepare your LinkedIn profile and the 3 steps that you should do regularly to generate leads on LinkedIn. Finally, please check out my latest video, which you can see here. Thanks for watching, and here's to your marketing and lead gen success.